Um, Extremely disappointed in how the game ended, how the season ended overall. Um, Three straight losses in the month of November. We prided ourselves on winning the month of November. I think we've seen the type of intensity and attention to detail that you have to have to break through to being an elite football team, and that's the lesson that I've learned, and I see. Still got some work to do in recruiting across the board in some key areas, and that's what's encouraging. I told the guys that, hey, this is who we are. We are a 6-win team, 7-win team. With a couple of opportunities here or there, we could have had a special year, but we still had a special year. A winning season since 2017, but in order for us to break through, to go from a pretty good team to an elite team, this is what we need to address, and it will be addressed. So that's kind of where I am right now. I didn't recognize that unit that played today. It is what it is. Some guys, their minds are probably on Thanksgiving turkey, or just didn't want to be out there ready to compete. And in this game, you have every opportunity. You get to play a game that you love, and you've got to compete at a high level, no matter what the circumstances are. And that's something that has to be learned and preached. And I take full responsibility on today's loss because these guys were not ready to play. So, Mr. Any questions?
A common thread through these three losses was slow starts.
Oh yeah.
What do you attribute that to? The
I
offensive, it looked like.
I wish I knew. Trying to still figure that out. It's I don't know. The turnovers it puts us in a bad situation. Yet again, we gave their offense a short field. That's 3 straight weeks that's happened. And it's something that we have to look at tendency-wise, energy-wise, and not a lack of execution. The ball's hitting us in the hands, we're not catching the ball, we're not pass blocking. It's been something, a breakdown somewhere along the line where it's everybody else's fault at the worst time, whether it's the quarterback not making the right read, or a missed block here, or drop ball here, and it takes away from momentum. And that's uncharacteristic for us, we've gotten off to some really fast starts offensively. So somewhere along the line, we lost that sense of urgency as an offense, and to really get things going.
Eddie, a lot of the kids, or a lot of course seniors that have either joined the program or have been here for a while. What can you say about just the ride they've been on in terms of when you got here to this point now?
I thank them for sticking out with me, because they could have jumped in the portal, tried to see something different, but I think they're seeing the slow turn in terms of us, of how we operate and how we do things. I think the win is that we've established a standard, set of expectations that wasn't there, I guess, when I got here. And how we do things, how we operate, the culture that we've created. That's the big win. So I think guys have really bought into that. They've loved on each other. They loved we're coming to work every day. They love competing with each other. And that's the biggest thing. Now, we just got to learn how to compete and hold each other accountable at a high level at every turn. And then most importantly, in the locker room and outside the locker room. That's where the biggest growth has to happen. So we've made some strides, but not enough to where we can compete for a championship.
As far as you as a coach, from year one now to the end of year 3, what areas can you say you've kind of grown in, and things that you have kind of learned over this time?
I'm always learning. Learning that the power of positivity is that's how I choose to operate. To have a perspective of optimism, and that's holistically. I've learned that we've got to enhance certain areas in our program that can help aid our student athletes to be the best they can be, and that's in the area of nutrition and recovery and training. We're beat up right now. I've got guys that started off the season at a certain weight that, 300 pounds, and then some guys are now at 260. Linebackers coming in at camp at 215, and they're coming in at the end of the season 180 pounds. And the amount of energy that's exerted throughout the season at a high level, what we demand on them throughout the week, it's not sustainable. And I think it's not everything. I'm not saying it's everything, but it's a part of the problem in terms of us really turning the corner. So I've got to figure out ways to solve that part, where we're getting consistent nutrition throughout the year, so we can be more competitive on the back end in terms of our bodies and size and the structure, and having the energy to finish strong. So that's something I've learned. Again, every day and every team is different. They're bringing the best out of me as a head coach. Every challenge that comes my way, every obstacle that comes my way, that is the way to success. And I welcome that. So yet you're against another obstacle in terms of how do I get this team better? How do I get better? How do I get my staff better? How do I get the roster better? And that's where it starts. It starts with recruiting.
Speaking of the roster, do you see yourself repeating what you did the last 2 years, or going more with transfer portal or recruiting heading into this next season?
We'll explore the transfer portal. I think we've identified some prospects that we like from the high school level. There's plenty of talent in the 250-mile radius of Nashville that we've scouted out. I feel really positive about that. The portal will be used to identify potential starters and take free agency. And I'm pretty sure there'll be some guys on our team that'll probably explore that route as well. And I completely understand that. So that's the nature of this business. So we want to, I don't want to put all my business out there in terms of my business, in terms of relying on the portal to get our starters. I still believe in identifying good high school kids and developing those guys, and also looking at junior college players. So we have to be very mindful of who we bring in here, that they fit the culture and they fit the identity in terms of what we're looking to do moving forward. But definitely some things are going to change for that.
Any other questions for Coach?
Yeah, Coach, like I said, obviously the season didn't quite end the way you wanted with the losing streak and everything along those lines. But even having, the season, winning season since 2017, would you still say, even with the way things went on, you still can kind of use that as a springboard into 2024?
Absolutely, absolutely. The last 3 games we played in, there were tough opponents, no question, but we can't help them. Still, we have, we're what now, -9 in turnover rate margin in the last 3 weeks. Not going to win too many ball games that way. Short fields, once again, 8 penalties on the game, and we can always argue whether we shouldn't have, whatever, but we've got to be more disciplined. So when you factor all that in, that's leading to a lot of these losses, and it's stuff that we can control. That's what we can control. So that's encouraging, and like I said, we will rectify that in the off season, and look to build on that. Again, I told them I'm proud of them, how they fought. We had some really good moments, and this is who we are. Sometimes the record will show you exactly who you are, and you have to accept that. We're a 6-win team. Could have been a 7-win team, but it stops there. So what's stopping us, what's preventing us, is all the small things that don't require talent that's going to really turn the table when nobody's watching, the leadership in the locker room. And again, some of the things I've already talked about has to be addressed, in order for us to really turn the corner. So it starts with recruiting. That starts as soon as I get off this mic. So, and it's going to be something I have to win in the off season to get the talent in this building, and that's where my spirit is at this point in time.
Mike, got it.
Before you get off that mic, I want to ask you something on a different topic. Ohio State wraps up the season next week against Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on the sign stealing
I don't
Saga,
care
now that
about
you're a
that.
coach.
I mean, hey, look. I mean, you know, you're always trying to get a competitive edge. I really hadn't paid too much attention to the details of it. You know, he's serving this penalty. Did they win today, Michigan?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think
That's
it
a
was a
good
tight ball game with
Yeah, it was
Maryland.
early, yeah.
Went into the fourth quarter, but hey, you know, they won.
Yes, yeah, I think that was 24. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't really have an opinion on it. It's something that you can steal signs all you want. You know what's coming. You got to stop it still. So it doesn't matter. I mean, when I played in the league, we told teams in certain circumstances that hey, we're running the ball. You know, we're running power on one. Meet us here. So
Is that right?
yes. We did it against Jacksonville in this building. You know, the Monday Night Football game. Me and Lorenzo Neal. It was 4 minutes. And we told Jacksonville's defense, okay, we're running the same play on one. Meet us in this A gap. So at some point, you know, you got to impose your will. You have to stop it. So yeah, you can jump into the analytics and all that, and in terms of stealing signs and get competitive edge, but I don't think it's that much of a big deal, honestly.
You telling Jacksonville, was that just a point to just man up?
Oh yeah, there was the game was well in hand, you know, and it was one of those moments where you impose your will and you try to break the spirit of the team, much like Tennessee Tech did to us tonight. So, you know, we live, we learn, we got to grow, we got to get better. Again, I would have loved to have finished the season off on a winning note, but the beauty is the lessons that we've learned in like the last 3 weeks. That's the momentum, and we'll be back. We'll get these guys round up, and again, I got to get the right bodies in the building. That's what my focus is. That's my intention.
Cool, thank you, Rick.
Good.
Thanks,
Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.